The India that we read about and may have been misled about, in one respect has kept itself intact. Though Pakka Sahib traditions may have cracked and thinned, the good old Indian Army's still a fact. That famous monumental man, the officer and gentleman, still lives and breathes and functions from Bombay to Kathmandu. At any moment one can glimpse matured or embryonic blimps, vivaciously speculating as to what became of who. Though Eastern sounds may fascinate your ear, when West meets West, you're always sure to hear. Whatever became of old Bagot? I haven't seen him for a year. Is it true that young Forbes had to marry that faggot he met in the Vale of Kashmir? Have you had any news of that chap in the blues? Was it Prosser or Pycroft or Pym? He was stationed at Simla, or was it Bengal? I know he got tight at a ball in Nepal and wrote several four-letter words on a wall. I wonder what happened to him. Whatever became of old Shelley? Is it true that young Briggs was cashiered for riding quite nude on a push-bike through Delhi the day the new Viceroy appeared? Have you had any word of that bloke in the third? Was it Sotheby, Sedgwick or Sim? They had him thrown out of the club in Bombay, for apart from his mess bills exceeding his pay, he took to pig sticking in quite the wrong way. I wonder what happened to him. One must admit that by and large upholders of the British Raj don't shine in conversation as a breed. Though Indian Army officers can read a bit, their verbal wit has rather run to seed. Their splendid insularity and roguish jocularity were echoing through India when Victoria was queen. In restaurants and dining cars, in messes, clubs and hotel bars, they try to maintain tradition in the way it's always been. Though worlds may change and nations disappear, above the shrieking chaos you will hear. Whatever became of old Tucker? Have you heard any word of young Mills, who ruptured himself at the end of a chukker and had to be sent to the hills? They say that young Lee's had a go of DTs, and his hopes of promotion are slim. According to Stubbs, who's a bit of a louse, the silly young blighter went out on a souse and took two old tots into Government House. I wonder what happened to him. Whatever became of old Keeling? I hear that he got back from France and frightened 3 nuns in a train in Darjeeling by stripping and waving his lance. Do you remember Monroe in the PAVO? He was tallish and mentally dim. That talk of heredity can't be quite true. He was dropped on his head by his ayah at 2. I presume that by now he'll have reached GHQ. I'm sure that's what's happened to him. Whatever became of old Archie? I hear he departed this life after rounding up 10 sacred cows in Karachi to welcome the governor's wife. Do you remember young Phipps, who had very large hips and whose waist was excessively slim? Well, it seems that some doctor in Grosvenor Square gave him hormone injections for growing his hair. And he grew something here, and he grew something there. I wonder what happened to her, him.